You are watching Sipping Off the Cuff on tequilaaficionado.com. I'm Alex Perez in Southern California.
I'm Mike Morales in San Antonio, Texas, where spring has sprung. But we're wrapping up 2014, Alex, and I'm excited because I've been wanting to taste these. I've been looking at these mezcals on my shelf almost all season, and this is Wahaka.
Yes.
Wahaka. Now we did the Joven Tobola, which was just beautiful. Nominated it for Brand of Promise. This one is the Joven Espadin. Now you and I have had Espadin almost exclusively this year in 2014 for the mezcals or mezcales. I should just pronounce those properly. Look at that. I like that they use that Patron fluorescent green. Maybe I shouldn't
Ooh,
call it Patron green.
ooh.
Who? Yeah. This Joven Espadin is, according to its 80 proof. So this is what we would consider, Alex, a gateway mezcal,
I
um,
think so. Yeah.
which you and I have had a few of this year. Um,
And typically that's what you'll find. You'll find, Espadin in the market.
yeah, the other ones are rarer, more rare to find because they're plants of different sizes. Like the Tobola we mentioned were smaller, so it takes more plants to make more juice. Whereas Espadin is about as big, if not bigger, than blue agave, and is more easily found, I think. But I have yet to visit a palenque. You and I have already talked about going to Oaxaca. If any of you guys want us out there, let us
Would
know.
love to visit.
We would love to visit. I know that several of our friends in the business have been to are now visiting Palenques. I know that TIPS, the Tequila Interchange Project, has as part of their tour to educate. They do take you to Mezcal Palenques. I know that David Suro is working with his. He has now his own line of mezcales as well. And I think
We
Clayton
should hit,
Check,
hit up our friend, the king of Mezcal,
the
Ron Cooper.
Ron Cooper. Yeah, well, Ron, he's been at it for 20 years now. If you're watching this now, they just celebrated 20 years in the business. Who basically opened it up for the mezcal industry before he was mezcal before mezcal was cool. And so you have Ron, you have Mr. Raza Zaidi, who is in charge of these brands here, who sourced them. Again, these are all single village. I believe this one comes from San Dionisio, Ocotepec, Oaxaca. And the Maestro Mezcalero's name is Alberto Beto Morales. No relation, but maybe he's a different distant cousin. So let's see what this is, a 40 ABV, so it's 80 proof.
You tell the nose, very different from the Tobala.
Yeah, but I'm getting more fruitiness, Alex, than what I recall from other espadines. Espadines?
Got a lot of citrus in this one. Lime, lemon. Nice. But it's very fresh. Very fresh.
Yeah. Or when we would talk about tequila, we would say very green,
Very
maybe.
green. Yeah. So it's
Yeah.
it's it's very fresh. Maybe cut a little bit cut grass. Mm,
Mm. Yes, I have my spit bucket. We're gonna go through a few of these tonight, so
nice.
I like the
Nice.
balance. I like the balance, Alex. It's got a little bit of smoke. It's wow, it's really different from that Tobola though, man.
Yeah, it's got the
Uh,
perfect balance of the smokiness, the and the acidity. I guess it would be that citrus that's in there too on the palate. It just lays down and it's beautiful and really fresh on the palate, at least on mine.
yeah, it's like a salad in your mouth or something. It's like you went to your backyard, you picked oranges or lemons, You zested them and made something really special with the stuff that you're growing. By the way, each one of these is organic. This particular line, the Espadin Joven, according to the website, Beto Morales describes a place of respect and harmony where no arguments or even bad words may be uttered. And to me that says a lot, because to me intention is everything. It's very much like what we've discussed in the past, Alex, about the Mozart method. You know, the intention, the atmosphere. I know that Don Cuco Sotol is the same way. When they're fermenting in the vinatas, they don't allow family squabbles in where this is happening. So it's very, this is it's an art, it's a tradition. Um, wow, this is this is really really good for an entryway gateway mezcal, and it is really different. It's not like the ones that we've had before.
It it's actually pretty big. It's a big, very chewy mezcal in the mouth. So it's got a lot of body. It has a lot of body. It's still
This is a
working its
beefy.
magic in my palate.
Yeah, it's a beefy mezcal.
Yeah.
Um, the if those of you who are experimenting with mezcals and can't get a comparison, I know that in the past I've said a Don Pilar Blanco. Well, I considered it very chewy Blanco, and this is, you were right. This is chewy. This is like you want to bite into it, or as our friend Chris Maxwell would say, it's beefy. This is beautiful, Alex. This is just wow. And you know what? You haven't seen one of these yet. This is another variation of the clay copita from a future mezcal that we won't mention right now, but they've entered for 2015 to the Brands of Promise and Sipping Off the Cuff. But they left me with a set of these, and I'm going to try it out. It's a clay. It's
Oh,
a version of a clay copita, but wow. That smokiness is not overpowering, and I don't think it's because of the alcohol by volume. I think it was specifically produced that way. I know that sounds weird because you could probably, I know that you can play with the alcohol by volume to bring out different qualities of the plant, but this really feels like it's been produced to balance perfectly at whatever ABV they decided to stay at. That's the way I'm looking at it.
yeah. Well, it's a perfect balance. It's got the smokiness, the earthiness, the citrus notes in there, even sweetness. Is there some sweetness in there?
Yes,
Very, very pleasurable on the palate. Very.
really really spicy finish on the back end too, Alex.
I didn't get too much of that spiciness.
I got it out of the clay copita. I'm not sure if that makes a big difference or not, because this is really my second time using the clay, other than having had Del Maguey in the clay copitas. Because I've had the gourds before, which I really enjoy. They don't necessarily add anything to the flavor profile, which is why we like them. Um, and the glass, as I said before, mezcal does not have an official glass yet. It doesn't need it, but certainly the nose is really good. It using a real glass. I think for those of you who just want
Yeah,
to nose it,
it brings it out,
yeah,
or
it
focuses it. It really focuses the nose.
that's it. It focuses it. I think the clay and the gourd, like you say, brings it out, but this is really focusing it. Another brand of promise,
Yes,
Alex. I really, really
I
like
agree.
this.
I agree.
Again, I'm not exactly sure what the price points are on Wahaka. I'd imagine that because they're small batch, you're gonna pay a little bit more than you normally would for maybe a tequila or for other gateway mezcals. Don't be afraid of that. This is really satisfying and beautifully done by Beto Morales and Wahaka. brand of promise for myself and Alex. And we're going to continue up with the line. I'm Mike Morales here in San Antonio.
I'm Alex Perez. You're watching Sipping Off the Cuff on tequilaaficionado.com. And as always, sip wisely.